HIMSS is about to completely change the way your healthcare works. They're not just selling subscriptions anymore. They are building out labs and rolling out personalized treatments that could disrupt the entire industry. And the crazy part about it, the stock is still under $20 and flying under everyone's radar. So the question is now a perfect time to buy before everyone catches on? In this video, I'm going to be breaking down exactly what HIMSS is building and why I think it's a long-term opportunity. Let's get into it. All right, so let's get into why I believe HIMSS and hers is going to be the future of healthcare. If you can, please give a like and subscribe. I really appreciate it. I think it really relies on the personalized health data. Now, the biggest growth levers for HIMSS and hers centers on a strategic shift from a product-focused marketplace to an AI-driven, personalized health platform. And the company's long-term scale depends on two integrated pillars: personalized care at scale and geographic category expansion. The technology lever. HIMSS is moving away from a one-size-fits-all. They have a MedMatch technology. This proprietary AI tool uses millions of de-identified data points to help providers predict which treatments will be most effective for a specific patient's profile. By Q1 2025, nearly 60% of subscribers who were using personalized treatments, which typically leads to higher lifetime value and lower churn. The integration of labs is a move from reactive, treating a symptom, to proactive, monitoring health markers, right? So you're actually, instead of having something happen and now you're treating it, you're actually, before you even have to deal with a problem, you're figuring it out and then taking care of yourself before that problem arises. HIMSS is aggressively diversifying to reduce regulatory risk and capture larger markets. Weight management is a significant revenue driver, roughly $725 in revenue in 2025. The company they've recently launched into hormonal health, menopause, and low testosterone. And the global footprint is international expansion in 2026 is a key priority. They got acquisitions of Zava and Eucalyptus, so they are moving into the international space as well. HIMSS has invested $300 million, right? This is number 3 is the structural lever, vertical integration. So they've invested $300 million into their own pharmacy and fulfillment infrastructure. It has cost control. So they will be able to maintain higher gross margins, historically 70% or more, compared to traditional telehealth peers who outsource fulfillment. And then they also have the vertical integration, allows them to create unique dosages or delivery methods like the mints, oral drops, that competitors cannot easily replicate. You know, when they have everything in-house, they have more control from the cost, the product, and so they're able to do a lot more. And so we're going to kind of go over labs a little bit. I actually myself ordered it. So I'm going to be kind of going through my process as well once I actually get it and go to the doctor and I actually start seeing results and stuff. I'm going to kind of go through how it looks and works and how it is for me, you know, personally, like, you know, my experience with it. So it says it tests for 1,000+ health conditions. Stay ahead of your health with in-depth lab testing for $350 a year. So the health signals that tell your unique story, it's going to be the health, weight and metabolism, hormones and thyroid, inflammation and stress, liver and kidney, immune defense, nutrients, and blood. So there's all these different things that they're testing when you go in there for the blood test. This is the quick process of how it works. You schedule your test first, or your first test. Then you get your insights. And again, this is just based on what, you know, the website's saying. I'm about to be following, or I'm about to be doing this whole thing. I haven't even taken my test yet. Then you follow your action plan. Then you measure your progress, and then you track your health, right? So it's very, I actually messed up. They didn't confirm my appointment. My appointment's later on in the week, but whatever. And I also got the advanced, there's a couple ones. So when you try to get any kind of medication, what I realized is that they send you an at-home blood test, and then for this one, the advanced one, you actually have to go in to a doctor's office, and I'm going to explain why HIMSS is going to completely change how we deal with doctors and why we might not be dealing with doctors really as much as in person. So yeah, that's just kind of how the process works, really quick. Then they also have a cancer screening, which is also big, right? Imagine you are told, hey, you have cancer. That's big, right? If you have cancer and you're watching this, you're like, that was horrible news. I mean, if you were like super young, you might have not been able to, right? But let's just say your 20s, 30s, whatever. You're like, hey, I just want to make sure in my life things are going well. You can take a blood test that screens for possible cancers that could be coming up, I guess. And I don't know I haven't dove deep into into this technology yet, but I do want to dive into it before, because I will take it. I will take this kind. I want to see exactly what it is, but I also might just take it and kind of see how the process works with that too, and then kind of document that for everyone as well. So they do have a cancer screening test as well. So the science behind the test. So the cancer cells leave a trace, right? It says DNA shedding. A signal is detected, so then you can see if a cancer signal could be detected, and then the cancer origin predicted. So they're going to predict where that cancer is going. If a signal is detected, the test uses advanced machine learning and methylation pattern recognition to analyze DNA fragments and predict likely signal origin. So, the thing is, wherever we are today, this is going to be a lot better later in the future. So whatever system that they are working on and improving, that's good, because I feel like in 10 years, it's going to be less of predicted, and it's going to be more accurate and be like, nope, this is where you have your cancer. So you have two paths. You have no cancer signal. You're like, all right, great news, go ahead. Then if you have a cancer signal detected, a provider will contact you, and it says, and contact you really quick within like 12 hours or something. So it's a simple annual screen that analyzes DNA fragments in your blood linked to 50 plus cancer types not commonly tested for, including lung, pancreatic, and liver, allowing you to proactively check for a signal of 50 plus cancers potentially before symptoms appear. So that's, I think, the number one thing, right, is potentially before symptoms appear. If you've had anybody in your life, or you personally have had to deal with cancer, the news of getting it, when you're like, man, why couldn't I have known 5 or 10 years ago, and I would have changed my life? I would have changed the way. I'm sure there's so many things that we do right now. We're like, this is probably not the best thing for my health. But maybe if we got a test saying, no, you are on your way there, maybe we do change the way we eat. Maybe we do change the way we just do things around us, right? A lot of it does have to do with consumption and all of that. So what I was talking about earlier is how I think they're going to be changing the way we communicate and interact with doctors, and how it's not going to be as much in person. They're really changing the way we do at-home pain-free blood testing, right? We have to do all these blood tests, but you kind of have to go in, take the blood test, and do all this, right? Well, they announced in December 2025 an agreement to acquire YourBio, a company pioneering painless microneedle-based blood sampling technology, allowing for painless, at-home, capillary blood collection into Hims & Hers personalized wellness platform to improve diagnostics. It's expected to close early 2026. Once the deal is finalized, YourBio's touch-activated whatever, that thing, and Halo microneedle technologies will be integrated directly into Hims & Hers ecosystem. YourBio uses patented bladeless microneedles, high-quality capillary blood samples in seconds, and the goal is to provide customized treatments by allowing users to complete diagnostics from home without needing to visit a lab. That's big, right? I have to go visit a lab for my advanced $350 one. So there's that one where you go in for the advanced $350 and you have to go into Quest Diagnostics, or you can get one sent home, but that's more for their medications that they're going to prescribe you. So there's a difference, and I'm kind of going to go over those and compare the two. The strategic impact, it aims to make lab testing and health monitoring more accessible, convenient, and in many cases painless, aligning with Hims & Hers' strategy to offer personalized, high-quality care. I want you to think about this convenience and the painless part, right? It's very much like Amazon. Amazon changed the way that we do healthcare because it's convenient. and painless in a way that we don't have to go and spend the money on the gas and get in the car and go through this, and right, they just deliver everything to you. So I think Hims and Hers making it just convenient and painless for people is going to be huge for everyone, because people don't like to go into the doctor's office and wait in the waiting room. If I could just have something sent to me, I take the blood out and then sent it to the mail, and so that's makes it easy, right? So I believe this could be kind of like the next Amazon in a sense, not that big, but like the convenience of healthcare, right? That's what people want. People don't like to go into a doctor's office. I don't. So Tasso is the one that they send at home, and YourBio are both painless at-home capillary blood collection devices designed to replace traditional painful finger stick for remote testing. Tasso uses a hidden lancet for capillary sampling, while YourBio uses a bladeless microneedle array. So which to choose? Tasso is often chosen for robust clinical data, proven FDA clearance, and ease of use for clinical trials. YourBio is ideal for applications requiring larger blood volumes for advanced multi-analyte testing. So these are different. The advanced one that I have to go and take, that would be something for YourBio. Tasso is more for the smaller samples, right? So that's why it's a little blurry. But this is Tasso. And what you do is you put this on your arm and you push that in. I'm going to take a video whenever I get it. You push that in and then you just, it draws the blood. YourBio is different the way, it's all different the way it happens. YourBio I'm not going to get yet. They haven't launched yet, but it's going to be very interesting. They do have a YouTube and a video on about it, but they haven't announced much of it yet because it hasn't closed. So I'm looking forward to that. The biggest difference is the sample volume. YourBio specifically the TAP2 is designed to collect higher, more precise volumes for complex laboratory analysis, where Tasso offers slightly lower volume output. So I think that's the big difference, right? What this means for Hims and Hers users. Until now, Hims largely relied on a partnership with Tasso for at-home liquid blood collection and Quest Diagnostics for in-person lab draws. By owning YourBio, Hims will be able to use the technology to power their recently launched Labs app, which tracks over 100 biomarkers for heart health, hormones, and metabolism. So they're going to be able to do all of that and collect a lot more blood, right? So while waiting for the YourBio rollout, Hims currently offers in-person labs, a subscription service, which is mine was $350, where you visit a local Quest Diagnostic center for a traditional blood draw, cancer screening, that's the other one I was talking about, a recently launched partnership with Grail for early detection cancer blood tests. So it's $350, right? That's, no one wants to pay $350, but that's what I had to pay. So by 2035, experts estimate that 10 to 25% of all diagnostic tests will be performed at home, with nearly a third of the US experts expecting that number to exceed 25%. That's where Amazon, where everything's at home. The automation and AI integrated interpretation, and smartphone compatible diagnostics are expected to be standard by 2030. Chronic disease focus. Diabetes and glucose monitoring currently make up nearly 28.3% of the application market, a segment expected to grow rapidly as global diabetes rates rise. Regulatory clarity, new FDA pathways for at-home kits are encouraging major manufacturers to enter the space. So it's becoming more of a normal thing to have, an at-home test. And then this is just their numbers, right? Hims, how much they're making, right? So you have a revenue at $2.35 billion, which is up almost 60%. So now we're kind of talking about the stock, right? Net income was up 2%. Well, I guess not the stock. This is more about the business, but still 2% of the net income because they're doing a lot of the investment, the vertical integration, right? So adjusted EBITDA is up 80%, operating cash flow up 20%, free cash flow is down 71% because of all the investment again. Subscribers is going up up 13%, which I'm a part of this next round that they're going to be announcing. And then the monthly revenue per average subscriber is $83. So, you have people on subscriptions. You also have someone who, like for me, I'm taking the blood test for $350. So if you want to average that out between 12, it's like, it's what I don't know how much that is exactly. I can't write it off my head. It's an early morning for me, but I think they're going to be able to raise from the $83 up to at least $90. And if they even raise this at all, they're going to be reaching their 2026 goals, and they still have kept their goal for 2030 of 6.5 billion and adjusted EBITDA of at least 1.3 billion. So they have not changed their goals, which is great, right? Even when they were going through the lawsuit, that was still their goal, and now they made the deal with Novo. Currently, right now, it is Easter weekend, so Hims and Hers, $19. That's crazy. I'm buying. But it's also not for people who have had heart transplants or anything, or heart conditions. Their service may be for people who have heart conditions, but the stock is not for heart condition, is for people who have a heart condition. Because when you look at it, this thing goes up tremendously. It'll go up, I circled all 30% or more, right? 54, 43, 52, 30, look at all these, right? But then I also circled anything that was over 30% as well going down. And I underlined anything that was going over 20%, between the 20 and 30%. This thing bounces a lot, right? Even here, I didn't underline that one, 19.9. But this thing goes up and down a lot. So if you are not used to a highly volatile stock, maybe stay away. I do think it has a lot, like if you, excuse me, if you are okay with having a stock and just kind of like not looking at it for 5 or 10 years, then this might be one for you. You just can't look at it, right? This is the stock. It's 69% down, 69% in 169 days, or 0% in 674 days. But if we take a longer look back, this is when they IPO'd and they did like a SPAC merger. And you're talking 0% in 1,900 days. In 1,900 days, it's gone nowhere, right? So if we take a look at the stock really quick, it's gone up all the way to the 60s. It tapped 70 for a second right here, and I think it might have right there for a brief moment. But at the end of the day, here, I think it has never closed at 70. It's been in the 60s. Right now, we're talking under 20. I think this stock can easily 3x in the next year or two, if not more. But right now, we also have this short squeeze, right? We have this little section right here, right? This is why there's this big jump. Let's actually turn that green, right? That was a good one. That was because they made the deal with Novo, and we thought this big short squeeze was going to happen, and we have like 40% of the shares, shorted, and it went up about 70% right here, and then it's been dropping down since then. I mean, ever since that top right here, we're down 28%. So the stock itself is not doing great, but I think the business is doing fabulous. The investment that they are making, the investments that they are making into the business, please give a like and subscribe. All of that's going to pay huge dividends when they're taking these blood draws and they're taking all this data from everybody. I know that sounds wrong, right? They're taking our blood, but we have to do this, right? We have to understand what's going on with our bodies. How can we fix it? How can we be better? At the same time, you can also just eat the best that you possibly can, exercise as much as you can. I mean, but there are certain things about us that you're born with, right? A 5-year-old doesn't have cancer because of what they ate. That's just not what it is, right? So, I would test my kid if I can get a blood test that is painless at home, I'll test my kids. Right? Wouldn't you? Like, we did have a death in the family that was caused by cancer. The kid was under 20 years old. I think if this technology was at a point where It was 20 years before that, or let's say 15 years, and he was 5 years old. Why wouldn't we do this, right? For our kid. I have an 11-year-old. She's about to be 11, and then my son is 7. I'd definitely take it just to see, And if they have something, then we start, okay, what do we got to do? What can we do, right? Now, I like to eat organic. I do believe in modern medicine. I fell off a cliff about 100 feet. I got wrecked. I've had a lot of things happen. I had to take medications to keep me going. But on the other hand, I did not take a lot of medications as well. I took the necessary ones, which were blood thinners because I had blood clots, stuff like that. Had to take some painkillers because of, what it was. But, I really was... you try to stay off it. Now, being medical, changing your blood and changing certain things, you kind of have to, right? And so when I had to change my blood, for my blood clots and, to affect that, it was a necessary pill I had to take. So, we want to be able to test, see what we need. I'm not the type of person that says, you need to overdo medication in any way, shape, or form. I think the less medication you take, the less medication you need and want and, and consume, the better. But that doesn't say that there's not certain medications that we should be taking. So that's just my opinion. I think Hims, in a way, could be like the next Amazon in terms of convenience, at-home healthcare, right? Kind of being the top dog of that category. So yeah, that's just my 2 cents. Again, when it comes to the stock, if you have a heart condition, don't play with the stock maybe, but you can go ahead and check out their heart services. But if you are aware and prepared for their stock, then you're not scared, right? You won't be scared of these drops. You're not going to be scared, right? And right now is a perfect time to buy. Right now is a perfect time to buy. It's not my advice. I'm not giving you financial advice, but I do think it's a perfect time to buy at 19. This is around the SPAC acquisition, time, SPAC merger time. So, which was a long time ago. That was a long time ago. That was like 6 years ago. So, I believe that this thing has a long way ahead and the way forward is up. I do not think Hims is going down from here at all. I believe in the next 5 to 10 years, the stock is over $100, at least over $100 in the next 5 years. And then from there, I guess we can talk more. So yeah, anyway, give a like and subscribe. I really appreciate anyone who is still sticking around for this. And yeah, never forget to earn it.